should this special be about? That's the question. It's got to be something universal, but also specific. It's got to be evergreen, but it also needs to tap into the zeitgeist of what is happening in this moment in time. So I gave it some thought, and I figured it out. This special is going to be about anxiety. Here's the thing, there's a lot to be anxious about, just the geopolitical nature of the world. If it's one thing we've learned in the last little while, it is that Americans do not understand Canadians at all. They don't understand what we want, they certainly don't understand what we have, but it should comfort you to know that this has always been the case. My manager is from Vegas, that's his one flaw. He's been my manager for years, still doesn't understand my country. He called me up in the middle of winter. He's like, hey, Matt, what's the worst part about living in Canada? Is it shoveling your driveway? I'm like, no, it's shoveling your neighbor's driveway while they're in Mexico. I feel like I'm the right person to talk about anxiety because I have anxiety. Don't worry, it's not the kind that will affect the show. It's the good kind of anxiety, the kind that really helps with stand-up comedy, the kind that causes me to overshare. Yeah, good for comedy, bad for interpersonal relationships. My wife tries to help. She had to remind me one time. She went, Matt, remember, this is not a podcast interview. It's a Stats Canada call. Keep it brief. I've always had anxiety, I just didn't know that's what it was. You know, I knew that I was frantic and neurotic, that I was desperate for everyone to love me, and I was afraid all the time. I just didn't know that was anxiety. I just thought those were really cool personality traits. And because I didn't have any adults who cared, I just bottled that up and went to school. Channeled it into being the class clown, but not in a fun way, in like a pre-diagnosed sort of a way. I was voted most likely to be stabbed by a member of faculty. The only time I ever really thrived in school was during the school play. You see, that's when whatever this is can really contribute to the student body. I was Vizzini in The Princess Bride. And I was magnificent. He's the best. He gets to give that speech. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's like, that's what's so funny. I switched classes when your back was turned. You fell victim to the most classic blunder, the most famous of which is never get involved in a land war in Asia, but only slightly less well known is this, never go up against a Sicilian when death is on the line. And I died every night. See, and then that would happen. People would clap for me. There I was, this little 12-year-old lying dead on a stage, slowly becoming addicted to applause. You want a little peek behind the curtain? I've been chasing that high ever since. I did all of this just to get some more. But that joy was short-lived because in the movie, when Vizzini dies, they just cut to like Buttercup and Wesley, giving that great William Goldman dialogue, you know. You mock my pain, life is pain, princess. Anyone who says differently is selling something. Great lines. But me, I'm just there. You just need to contend with me now. So the plan was that the actor who played Wesley was going to drag me off the stage. But I was a fat child. And he was mic'd, so he let it be known. This is totally true. He did this every single night for the entire run of the production, which was 2 nights. He would drag me off the stage while making these sounds into a live microphone. He'd be like, come on, big boy. He said it. And then he threw me off the stage, and I landed on a big mat. Well, a bigger mat. Thank you very much. That joke's funny if you remembered my name. Then I was supposed to roll off. But I was in character. You understand? Dead people don't roll. I don't know what my brain was doing, but I was convinced that if I rolled off that mat, I would be doing a disservice to the theater. I would be taking everybody out of the realism of this grade 7 production of The Princess Bride. So I figured I'll just stay here until I know every eye is off me. Now, as an adult, I recognize that is the most distracting thing I could have ever done. Guaranteed every eye was on me the whole time, just going...
8 minutes now. Do you think he's actually dead? He is pretty fat. Maybe his little heart gave out.
I don't know what I was worried was going to happen. I would just roll off the mat. Some guy in the back would stand up. I knew it! He's not dead. I told you he wasn't dead. When I watch a junior high play, I expect the body counts to rise. We're leaving. So that was the only time I had fun in school. It was during the play. Every time other than that, it was horrible. The teachers, there were so many of them. They were just mean. It's totally different now. The teachers now, you guys are never going to believe this, they like the kids. Like, they're not actively rooting against them anymore. I went to an assembly for one of my children, and like, oh my word, the kids were getting a little antsy. The principal stands up. I was like, here we go. She's like, you kids have been sitting a long time. Let's all stand up and let our wiggles out. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Never in my 12-year educational career was it ever even suggested that my wiggles could be anywhere but in. I'm 36. I'm yet to let my wiggles out. So different. It's all positive reinforcement now because they did this study and they discovered that children are a lot happier when they're not unhappy. Yeah. I'm not saying that kids have it easier nowadays. Quite the contrary. With all the distractions they have to contend with. Smartphones and what have you. Smartphones were only recently banned in schools. Like, just recently. I'm sorry, but when I was in school, we weren't allowed hats. Hats, universally agreed, too distracting. But the internet in the palm of your hand, that's fine. Let them figure that out on their own. You know why I think particularly teachers were a little bit extra grumpy for my generation? I'm a millennial. I think they were particularly grumpy because 10 years before we got there, they were allowed to hit kids. And then there was a law. And instead of firing all those teachers, they just said, no, stop it. But old habits die hard. And there's still muscle memory. We'd have teachers walking around just holding meter sticks. Remember this? They'd never use them. They weren't allowed to anymore, but they just hold them. Just pacing back and forth like caged tigers, just reminiscing about the good old days and their imaginations. I wish I could let my wiggles out right now. Here's the thing. If you don't deal with your anxiety, it just kind of gets worse. So I didn't deal with it, and it got worse. I found different ways to cope with it. The biggest way was a technique I developed called suppression. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. You just push it deeper and deeper, and then it pops up, when you don't want it to. There's that. There's just a lot of like trying to calm down as well. I listen to a lot of classical music. Yeah, classical radio, big deal for me. I love classical radio and listen to that. The sound of me losing the audience. All right, cool. Everyone has this assumption with classical radio, like, oh, it's really dull. It is not. They are the bad boys of radio. There's only 2 rules in radio. Number 1, no dead air. Number 2, don't talk about boring stuff. And classical radio stations break those rules on an hourly basis. Have you ever tuned in, even accidentally? The dead air is almost passive-aggressive. Like a song will end and be like, bum ba bum 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 bum.
That was Beethoven's Opus in D minor.
Like he leaned in to breathe, that's what I'm saying. The audacity you need to lean into a live microphone just to breathe in. One time the dead air was so long I thought my radio was broken. Started turning up the volume, it was like, Miarosi. That was Bach. No! Don't scream, Bach, at me. That's right, professional comedian, not above a pun. Thank you very much. But don't clap for that. I mean, clap for what you want, but don't do that. I don't want to tell you how to be an audience, but come on. Yeah, there was a lot of Bach. They loved Bach. And here's the thing, the things that they talk about on those stations, like they find them interesting, but they're not. But they deliver them with such passion. This was a break I heard almost verbatim. It went like this. Coming up tonight in the city, we got 2 concerts, both starting at 7 p.m. We got a violin concerto happening at the east end of town at 7. We got a piano concerto happening at the west end of town at 7. I do not envy those of you who need to make that decision. Might I suggest half of one and half of the other? Coming up, more Bach, because he's dead, and we don't have to pay royalties, so... But Bach, man, he was the king of the Baroque period. Something that helps you get into classical music is if you kind of know a little bit about the period. So let me tell you a little something. If you were the lead in a Bach opera, that's like being a rock star back in the day. And there was an elite group of men that were the leads. There was only men back then. There was no women. They hadn't been invented yet. And it's the only thing that makes sense. And these men were called the castrati because they had a certain procedure done that allowed them to hit the very high notes in the Bach operas. I'm not going to say the word. I feel like that would sully the special. So just read between the lines. The castrati had a procedure. They were castrated, is what I'm trying to tell you. These were castrated young men. But they were happy to do it because fame and fortune come in their way until, and I quote, those operas fell out of fashion with the general public. Oh my word. First of all, can I just say this? The lengths that men will go to keep women out of places of power and privilege is astonishing, is it not? Do you understand what that means? There must have been a final castrati. Just logically, if there's a first, there has to be a last. This poor guy promised fame and fortune, gets the procedure done, and then nobody shows up to the operas? Could you imagine he's just lying there on an operating table? Well, it was the 1600s. It was probably just a regular table. Just Just a regular table and another guy with a rock. Just somewhere in the middle of Vienna. Just. Are you excited? Are you sure you want me to do this? I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous. No, it'll be great. You're going to be a celebrity. Okay, what's going to happen? I'll count down from 3. Okay, no, start from 10. No. We're going to go faster than that. Okay, ready? Okay, but I want to be surprised. Okay, fine, I won't do it on 1. So what, you're going to do it on 2? No. Yes. I could tell from your little paws that you're going to do it on 2. Fine, I won't do it on 1 or 2. So what, 3 is the only one left. What is this? There's 3, boom, that's too quick, that's not a surprise, that's an attack. Fine. Such a baby. All right, fine, I won't do it on 1, 2, or 3. But there's no, is this halvesy numbers? What are we doing here? This is making no sense. You know what else is making no sense? Our accents have shifted somewhere along the line. I noticed that too. We're not in Vienna, we're in the middle of London all of a sudden. How peculiar. Yeah, want to know something interesting? We're not in Vienna, we're not in London, we're in Manitoba, Canada right now. Are we really? Yes. You're in a bit. A what? A bit. A chubby comedian is using your tragic life story as fodder to entertain a group of people he's never even met before. Well, this is very meta. Are you distracted? I am distracted. Kablam! And then it happens. This guy takes 2 weeks off to heal, as is the custom. Goes on stage, nobody's there. Empty house. Could you imagine this poor guy just standing there going, well, what now? Until a young animator by the name of Walt Disney showed up. We need a voice for our cartoon mouse. We went on a Disney vacation a while back. This was pre-boycott. And it's important to point that out, thank you. And it was great, but I think I made the stakes a little bit too high in my own head. Because before you go, you do the research and you figure out what the ride is to go on. Every time you go, it's a different ride. And when we went, it was Remy's Rat-Tat-Tooey Adventure. And if you believe the blogs, everyone's going on Remy's Rat-Tat-Tooey Adventure. You gotta check out Remy's Rat-Tat-Tooey Adventure. That's all anyone's talking about is Remy's Rat-Tat-Tooey Adventure. Why even go to Disney if you're not gonna go on Remy's Rat-Tat-Tooey Adventure? So, you do all the research, you make a plan. On the day of the ride, you wake up at 7 a.m., try to get one of those Disney Fast Pass, Genie Plus, skip the line, zippity-doo-dah thingies. But they sold out in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Taylor Swift took 6. Are you kidding me? And if you don't get one of those Disney Fast Pass, Genie Plus, skip the line, zippity-doo-dah thingies, you gotta wait in line. Wanna know how long the line is for Remy's Rat-Tat-Tooey Adventure? I'll tell you, 3 hours. You know what's ironic about waiting 3 hours to go on Remy's Rat-Tat-Tooey Adventure? Is because in that time, you could watch Rat-Tat-Tooey twice. But no, you wake up in the morning, you make the plan, you try to get the thing, you get to the back of the line, you're shuffling along, and you didn't have any time to get coffee, but that's fine. You're still buzzing on adrenaline and cortisol. You got stress hormones pumping through your veins. You're in a 3-hour-long line now. You're committed to this thing. You're moving forward inch by inch. Finally, at the end of 3 hours, they shove you onto some giant hollowed-out rat and immediately just start spinning around. Just spinning around. And if that's not disorientating enough, music starts blaring in your ears. Just rat-tat-tooey, rat-tat-tooey. It's not that song, but it's a song like that. Rat-tat-tooey, rat-tat-tooey. And then 6 minutes later, they drop you off. And then it hits you. You just waited 3 hours for a 6-minute long ride. And you'd think people would be angry. But they're not. Nobody's angry. Everyone is so not angry that they drop you off at a gift shop and people buy rats. People spend $30 on plush souvenirs to remember their time in line. You want to know how I know there's idiots spending $30 on plush rats? Yeah, I was one of those idiots. I spent $30 for a plush rat that clipped onto one of my kids' shoulders, $30 for a hunk of cheese with 2 little rats that went inside it for my other kid. And we walked around Disney for the rest of the day, and they were like beacons to other people. They'd walk up to us, they'd be like, "Oh, did you go on Remy's rat tattooing adventure?" I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Was it worth the wait?" I was like, "Yeah." Because here's the thing. I believed it. Because if you wait 3 hours to see a rat, something needs to shift in your brain. You start lying to yourself. It's around hour 2, you start saying stuff like, "No, this is good. I'm happy with this. I'm proud of my life choices." But you know what that is? That's your brain's way of protecting you. Because if your brain allowed you to tap into the actual reality that was happening right then, the only logical thing for your brain to tell you to do would be to take off your belt and start going Indiana Jones on everybody else in that line. Just make a path! But that's frowned upon in Disney. So instead, you make the plan, you get in the line, you go in the thing, the rat-tat-tooey, rat-tat-tooey, you buy the plushes and you walk around, and this is all I'm thinking about the entire day, just over and over and over and over. And there's another part of my brain that goes, "Stop it, stop thinking about this, you're on vacation, you should be having fun," but I can't stop ruminating over and over and over and over. And this happens all day until 10 o'clock at night when they shove me onto some bus to go back to my resort, and I'm sitting there on the bus and I'm thinking to myself, this is my favorite ride. Because it's air conditioned. And they're bringing me to bed. That bus was an incredible experience. Because it was on that bus that I had an epiphany. Disney is not designed for people my age. I didn't know that. It's designed for people who have disposable income and free time. And that peaks at 15. At 15, you have a part-time job and no debt. You have no idea, but you're the richest you will ever be. And if free time and disposable income were a graph, that just goes down your entire life until it kind of levels off right at the bottom for a while. And then, starts going up, and then it peaks again. 68. 68 is when it peaks again. 68's a remarkable age because when you're 65, you retire. And then you sit down with the lady at Scotiabank. And she tells you what your budget is. Here's how your investments did. Not very good. Here's how much pension you have. Not a lot. Here's how much you have to live off of so you don't eat dog food by the 18th of the month. And for 3 years, you follow that budget to the T, to the letter, until one day you're just looking around your house, you're having an existential crisis. You're just going, what are we doing with our lives? In order to stop that voice, you go, let's go to Disney. And you do. You go to Disney, but you're almost 70. And I've seen these 70-year-old women walking around Disney. They do it differently. They're wearing bright pink Figment sweaters now because the heat just doesn't affect them for some reason anymore. They're borrowing cardigans. Do you have another cardigan I can put over top of this cardigan to get a little nippy? Here's just a couple more cardigans. I was on this bus and I was sitting across the way from a young lady who must have been about 15 years old. And she was showing her friend all the items that she had purchased at the park. And she's just on her phone because you don't need a card in Disney. You just take a picture of the item, and it's yours. It's incredible. You walk in the park, the mouse has your credit card details. And I suppose she had purchased a lot of stuff because her friend looked at her and she said, "How'd you even buy that much?" They were Southern. And she looked at her, and I'll never forget her response. She said, "I didn't even think about it. I just boop and it's done." I didn't even think about it. I just boop and it's done. Boop being the sound her phone made when she purchased the item. Boop. And her friend looked at her like you're looking at me, and then she tried to explain it, but she didn't have any more words to explain it, so she just said the same words she already said, hoping that they would magically change. She was just going, "Yeah, I didn't even think about it. I just boop and it's done. I didn't even think about it. I just boop and it's done. I find it a lot easier if you don't even think about it. You just boop and it's done. I just boop and it's done, boop and it's done, boop, boop, boop and it's done." And I'm looking at her thinking to myself, she is the future. And I mean that in a nice way because she still has hope. You understand? Oh my word. She's aware of the word debt, but she doesn't know that the word crippling normally comes before it. And adults always have this need to we need to show them that the world isn't perfect. Yeah, they'll figure it out. Let them have this right now, okay? Because you're my age, you go to a vacation, it's differently, because you got to bring your anxiety along with you. I didn't invite my anxiety, but he's there. He's just hovering around me. Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, oh, don't touch that. Don't touch that. You're already sick. You're probably already sick. It's just different and just weirder. You know, it's just off now. Like we went on one ride and it was test track. Have you been on test track? Very fast ride. You go from 0 to 70 miles an hour in an impressive amount of time. I don't know the number. I'm not good at that stuff. But you can just think of a number yourself. Right now in your head, think of a number that would be impressive to go from 0 to 70 miles per hour in. You got one? Okay, that number. I know. So we're there, and it's me and my kids and my wife over there. And beside me on the right, just some random kid. In Disney, they're called single riders. I'm a single rider. I'm a single rider. I'm a single rider. I'm a single rider. Put your hands up. They'll cut that from the special. Don't worry. So he's sitting there, and he just poked me. Yeah. People assume that once you have children, your capacity for other children grows. I've found that is not the case. My capacity for my children has and will continue to grow exponentially for all time. Other children, not so much. Before I had kids, if a kid was like, "Hi," I'd be like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" Now if a kid's like, "Hello," I'm like, "Get away from me. What are you doing?" But this kid poked me, and I'm like, "Yes." And he's like, "Have you ever been on this ride before?" You ever meet a kid, and as soon as you meet him, you're like, "I hate this kid." And then there's another part of your brain that's like, "You can't hate him, he's a kid." And then the first part of your brain's like, "So what, too late, ready to hit him." So he's like, "Have you ever been on this ride before?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have." He's like, "It's not even very fast." And that annoyed me, all right? Because it's famously fast. If it's not fast, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? And then he's like, "Do you know what I'm gonna do?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "Do you know what I'm gonna do?" I'm like, "No, what are you gonna do?" He's like, "When we get to the really, really fast part, I've been on this ride so many times, so I know exactly where it is. When we get to the really, really fast part, that's when they take your picture. That's when they take your picture, right? The really, really fast part. So right when we get to the really, really fast part, I'm gonna take my sunglasses. They're already here on my head. I'm gonna take my sunglasses. I'm gonna put them over my eyes. That way, when we get the picture back, it's gonna be me taking my sunglasses and putting them over my eyes." I'm like, "Who are you? Where are your parents? Is this an immersive Disney experience? Are you a lost boy? What's going on right now?" So we started moving, and I forgot about him because he stopped talking for 3 seconds. And then we got to the really, really fast part, and then he started getting frantic. He was like, "Hey, hey, 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 hey." I'm like, "What?" He takes his sunglasses, puts them over his eyes, and goes, "Let's do this." And then we take off at 70 miles an hour. We got the picture back later. Credit where credit is due. This kid knew exactly what he was doing. He looked super cool. The picture was him taking his sunglasses and putting them over his eyes. The picture was me beside him doing this. What the picture does not show is as soon as we finished that fast part, I pushed him off the ride. I did. I didn't even think about it. I just boop and it's done. Yeah. So why do we go on vacation? Well, if you listen to other people, it's to make memories. No one ever says have fun, by the way. Go make memories. Enjoy the present moment. Are you kidding me right now? No one knows how to do that. No, take pictures. That way, 20 years from now, after your body has disassociated from the trauma of that vacation, you can look at those photos and go,
Wasn't that fun?
it wasn't, but you won't remember that. No, I don't think that's why we go. I think we go, at least for me, I go just to heal my inner child. I talk to my inner child at the end of every single vacation. I'm like, how was that, buddy?
He's always like, not so good.
Why not?
Well, you were so grumpy the whole time.
What do you want to do about it?
Let's try again next year.
That's one of the things you learn as you get older. You got to heal your inner child. Yeah. But it's difficult as you get older because you also typically have outer children. Plus, I'm tired. I'm tired because I'm old. I'm 36. And there's some people here going, that's not old, but you're super old. No, okay. Let's agree on this. 36, not old, but it's also, come on, it's not young, all right? And I'll be honest with you, aging is different than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be all like, oh. My knees hurt. Don't get me wrong. My knees hurt. It's more than that, you know, it's these little things that remind you that your youth is behind you. Like, I'll give you an example. Now, suddenly, almost out of nowhere, I'm super excited about all the items in my home that I purchased only using points. My friends come over, it's the first thing I talk about. I'm like, buddy, check it out. Look at that toaster. Look, come here, look. Guess how much I paid for that? No, seriously, guess. No. $0. Paid for it all with points. Had to put 10 grand on the credit card to get the points, but still.
I think it was worth it.
Food, too, man. Oh, I used to be able to eat. When I performed in Vegas, I went with two of my friends, and we went to this all-you-can-eat steak place. All-you-can-eat steak, $4. Yeah, I know. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, somewhere off the strip. Not a good idea. Both of my friends got violently ill. I felt nothing because my stomach is made out of the same material that you fix potholes with, all right? Now, totally different. I was in Starbucks the other day with my wife, and I said something out loud in a public place, and as soon as I said it, I knew I was going to be forever different. And I'm going to tell you what it is. But I need to warn you ahead of time, when I heard myself say this, I scarred myself a little bit. And when you hear it, it might scar you too. Okay, I said, and I quote, "Hey, honey, do you want to go halvesies on a slice of lemon loaf?" Not even the whole loaf, buddy, you know what I mean? a half a loaf, and I'm going to say this too. They put some, okay. They put some, they put some icing on it, and it was too sweet. I mean, it was 8 p.m. I don't want to stay up all night. You know what I'm talking about? It's just different. It's just different. I got hobbies now. Yeah. And that's a very specific to my generation sort of thing. The older generation had a very clear idea of life. That's not for right now. You work your whole life, then you retire, then you can be happy. My generation knows that's not going to happen. First of all, there is no retirement because there is no savings, because there are no jobs, because there is no economy. It is just side hustles. It is just selling needlepoint on Etsy to pay the rent until we die. That's it. So now we got a whole generation of people just leaning into their hobbies. Just a bunch of folks all out there crocheting, just swapping patterns on the streets. When we say we're hooking, it means something different. I got proper old people hobbies right now. You want to know my favorite hobby right now? Yeah. Calling in for the warranty. Yeah, when I was in my 20s, if something broke, I just didn't have that thing anymore. Now in my 30s, something breaks, I find the number. I call them up. I'm like, hey, do I have the warranty? They always say the same thing. No, you do not. And I'm like, could I get the warranty? And they're like, do you mind holding? And I'm like, ma'am, I'm a stand-up comedian. I start work at 7:30 p.m. I have all day to hold. So that's what I do. That's my hobby. I just sit there on hold. I listen to the music. I listen to that bad AM radio rendition of You Can Call Me Al, done entirely in bassoon for some reason. Just sitting there on hold. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
That was You Can Call Me Al.
She comes back, she's like, you still there? I'm like, yeah, I'm still there. You thought you'd lose me, didn't you? No, I got perseverance, okay? I got patience. I one time played dead for an entire production of The Princess Bride. Yeah, that's 90 minutes plus an intermission. Yeah, I stayed during the intermission. People left, they got juice, they came back, I was still dead. That's right. First thing I returned ever was my Ryobi weed whacker. Yeah, they just gave me a new one. No questions asked. Well, the only question she asked, because I told her my Ryobi weed whacker stopped working, and she goes, what do you mean? I didn't know how to answer that. I tried. I was like, well, I was whacking weeds, and then I just wasn't whacking weeds no more. I was just kind of pushing them over. But then they would just pop right back out. She's like, that sounds broken. 2 weeks later, brand new Ryobi weed whacker right there on the door. You kidding me? Yeah. That winter, our Snow Joe snowblower broke down. I knew what to do. I called him up. I was indignant. I had a bit of a tone. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like it, but I had a bit of a tone. I was like, hey! That was my tone. I was like, hey! My Snow Joe snowblower blow no snow no more! He couldn't believe it. He's like, Snow Joe snowblower, no blow no snow no more? I'm like, no blow no snow no more. He's like, oh no, I know, no. brand new Snow Joe snowblower right there at the door. It's incredible. My coffee maker broke down. I'm an old pro. Called him up. I was like, my coffee maker broke down. What are you going to do about it? Yeah. He's like, we'll send you a new one, but they had a few more hoops to jump through. They didn't want people taking advantage of the system, see? Yeah, so he goes, we'll send you a new one, but first, you got to take a video of the old coffee maker not working. Yeah, just so you guys know, a video of a coffee maker not working looks a lot like a video of a coffee maker unplugged. But here's the thing, I was not trying to take advantage of the system. I brought all my neuroses to that video. I was trying to go above and beyond to prove that I was like an upstanding human being. I was like, there's the coffee maker right over there. As you can tell, that's not working. What time is it? I don't even know. That clock doesn't work anymore. What time is it? I don't know. I got to look at that clock. I don't like that clock because that clock has hands. I don't want that one anymore. I want this one to work. And look, that's plugged in. Look how plugged in that thing is. Super plugged in. Back to the clock. In fact, let's go downstairs. We're going to go downstairs. Look, fuse box, all switched on. All switched on. Some people might switch off the fuse, leave it plugged in. I thought about it. I'm not going to do it. We're going to go back upstairs. Back upstairs. One shot, never cutting away, just like Christopher Nolan. Here we are, back at the coffee maker. Look at that. Look at that. It's a French press coffee maker I got from IKEA last week. There's the receipt. Would I have got that if that worked? I don't think so. I don't want that. I want that. This I pushed down on the plunger too hard and it burned my hand. I don't want it anymore. I want this one. I'm going to back up and zoom in. He was like, that was a great video. We're going to enter that into some short film festivals. And then he says, we'll send it to you, but first you have to cut the cord of the old coffee maker and mail that to us. Guys, that was the closest I've ever been to being in the mob. Because it was like a hit. And they wanted proof of death. And I couldn't just send him a cow's tongue. That was a weird reference. Let me explain. So, you know how if you get mixed up in the mob, it can happen to anyone. You're just walking down the street one day, you're like, oh no, I got mixed up in the mob. And then, in order to get out of the mob, they're like, you got to do one job for us, you got to do a hit. And you're like, that's fine, one and done, one and done. You bust down the guy's door and you're like, here we go. And it's your childhood best friend. Oh no, it's Josiah. How'd you get mixed up in the mob? And he's like, oh, you know how you get mixed up in the mob? You're just walking the street one day, you're like, oh no, I got mixed up in the mob. I'm like, you're telling me. And they want proof of death. They want you to send him his tongue. But you come up with a plan. You're like, we're going to get a cow's tongue. We're going to trick the mobster, right? So you go to a farmer's field, or if you live in Manitoba, your neighbor's house, and then you just kind of pull a tongue from a cow, I guess. I don't know. The farmer's never going to find out. Farmers don't talk to their cows. Like, how you doing, cow number one? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, cow number two? What happened to your tongue? Because all cows kind of sound like their tongue got ripped out anyway. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, is the sound you'd make if you had no tongue. Anyway. So you put the tongue in a paper bag or a plastic bag, because that would just kind of drip through, and then you mail it to your mobster guy. You have a point of contact over in the mobster world. You mail it to him, and he's looking, he's like, okay, here we go. It's Joe Pesci. Hey, man, here we go. Hey, it's just like a look. He's looking, he's like, it's a little bit heavier than I was expecting. It's heavier. But he doesn't want to like go to his boss and be like, is this a cow tongue or a people tongue? You know what I mean? Because he's like, then his boss will be like, I thought you knew. It's Brando. I thought you knew a difference between cow tongue and a people tongue. Yeah, I do know a difference. No, you don't. You put it on your resume and you lied to me. I don't lie to you. I just said, no, now I'm going to make you wear rubber shoes. You mean cement shoes? No, yeah, I do mean cement shoes. No, it's too late. You already said rubber shoes. No takesy-backsies. That's a rule in the mob. No takesy-backsies. Okay, so they put him in rubber shoes and they throw him in the Hudson River and he goes down. Just his feet come back out. But that's still really hard to swim. He's like, help me. They're like, don't help him. He's being punished. Anyway, that's the reference. So, thank you. So I did it. I cut the cord. I mailed it to the guy. But it felt weird because I knew there'd be some Don Boss CEO just sitting there in a leather chair going, I like to put the cords up on my wall. You know, I got the Keurig right over there. I'm going to put the Ninja right over there. 2 more cords, then I can retire. Then I'll be happy. What I'm saying is aging is different than you thought it was going to be. Remember? Because you think it's just going to hit you one day, right? Just like a steam train. But it doesn't. It slowly crushes you. Like a steam roller. In neutral. In like a parking lot. On a slight incline. And when you're young, you fight against age a little bit. You go, no! But then eventually wisdom sets in. You go, well, at least I'm lying down. So the other thing that happens when you get older is if you haven't dealt with your anxiety and your issues, like me, they come back. That anxiety that you push deep down inside pops back up. My issues started affecting like every single area of my life, except, weirdly enough, for stand-up comedy, which is the first thing that everyone assumed my anxiety would attack, because to everyone else it seems so anxiety-inducing. But it just isn't for me. You know what I mean? I always just approach stand-up comedy with the kind of blind confidence normally reserved for reality TV stars and the producers who find them. But then everything was going great, and then one day, I'm backstage before a show, and my brain showed up. Which was a shock, because up until that point, my brain had played a very small role in my career. And my brain just said, hey, Matt. I was like, oh, hey, brain, how you doing? He's like, good. Cool, I'm about to do a show. Yeah, that's why I'm here. I just wanted to let you know that if you got anxious right now, you would ruin the whole show. Why would you tell me that? Well, I'm your brain. I'm here to help. I'm saying don't get anxious, because then you'd ruin the whole show. I'm like, I'm not going to get anxious. He's like, good. Because then you'd ruin the whole show. See, I didn't understand my brain at that point in my life. I didn't understand my brain was just trying to help me, but he was just very stupid. So I was arguing with my brain. So I was like, well, I have nothing to be anxious about. Don't do that. My brain's like, I'll do a quick scan. No, don't do a scan. All right, I made a list, read this list, but don't think about any of these items. I read the list, thought about every single one, got super anxious, and I ruined the whole show. But don't worry, it was televised. So it was around that time that things just kept getting worse. And I was like, all right, here we go. So at that time, I finally started going to therapy. And it was difficult for me for a number of reasons. Number one, I was very nervous about talking to a therapist. And number two, I didn't want to pay for it. It's expensive. I did the math. Don't do the math. If you're having a mental health crisis, put it on your credit card and move on with your day. I did so much therapy on my credit card, the points that I got were unbelievable. I'm not ashamed to admit this. The very first therapist I found, I picked him because he offered his first session free. Yeah. Because any therapist will give you a free 15-minute consult. And I discovered if you string enough of those together, you can get a diagnosis. But you got to be pretty quick on the note-taking, you know what I mean? All right, the first 6 said something about me being neurotic. I emailed you a PDF about my childhood. Read that over and let's go, baby! So at that time, I did some therapy. I read a ton of books. I started looking inward, which is a terrible place to look because that's where the problems are. And I started doing guided meditation, which is just somebody telling you how to breathe. And for people who are anxious, it's very needed. I thought I knew how to breathe. I did not. I was very bad at breathing. I listened to a lot of guided meditation on YouTube. But YouTube has ads. Can really pull you out of it when you get in too deep, you know? Breathe in. Breathe out. Notice where your body is connected to the earth. And order HelloFresh today! If you think it'll help. I did guided meditation once while I was driving. Yeah. Because they always start by saying, close your eyes. And open your hands. I don't think that's a good idea. This whole getting better thing's gonna kill me. So around that time, I did a lot of stuff, and I started making some improvements in certain areas. I haven't, succeeded in every area, haven't gotten where I want to get. But I made some progress, I'm a recovering people pleaser. That was my biggest issue. It's not my biggest issue anymore, And that's a hard thing to recover from. You recover from anything else, people are happy. When you recover from people pleasing, the people, they are not pleased. You recover from being a people pleaser, like, you changed, man. You used to let me walk all over you. I'm sorry. It's good. You got to learn these things. You got to learn these things as we get older. That's the whole thing. It's because not everything you learned when you were a kid is true, especially in regards to your mental health and how to deal with your emotions and your feelings. You need to relearn these things. And it's not just those big things, it's the little things you got to relearn too. Like, I'll give you an example. I've always known what the fastest animal on the planet is. Cheetah, right? My whole life, that was the basis for all my zoology. Cheetah, fastest animal on the planet. Sharks, scary. Then I get older, I relearn, not true. Fastest animal on the planet is a peregrine falcon. Because apparently, in free fall, they can reach speeds up to 320 kilometers an hour, which is impressive. But is it fair to judge an animal in free fall? Because by that logic, if you dropped a lion from an airplane, that's the fastest animal on the planet, right? Someone should have had a radar gun and clocked Mufasa when he fell off that cliff.
Long live the king. No.
450 kilometers an hour. Fastest animal on the planet, a lion being killed by his brother. Take this back to headquarters, Al. So don't worry about getting older, just worry about getting better. That takes away a lot of the angst of aging. Just focus on getting better. Keep relearning. My wife and I were in a parking lot one time, because we're cool. And we were going into the store, and we noticed a van starting to park. And just by the way they were driving, something in us said, we should watch. She pulls in, and she scrapes up against the car beside her, and makes that great sound. Puts it in reverse. Back into drive, no other adjustments. She was an older lady. She wasn't even realizing what she was doing, and I'm watching this going, is this my responsibility? She's just gonna leave. Do I have to wait for the owner of this car she's hit? Do I have to tattle? But then I'm like, no. Just brush it under the rug. Yeah, just ignore the problem and it'll get better. Right? Snitches get stitches. But then I'm like, wait. Stitches turn into scar tissue. And scar tissue is stronger than skin tissue. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it's our scars that make us beautiful. And while I was thinking this, she hit her like 3 more times. And I was debating what to do, and then the owner of the car, another older lady, she came out, and I was like, okay, she's gonna notice it, and then it'll take care of itself. No, she just gets in her car, and I'm like, great, it's up to me. It's always up to me! So I walked over to the lady in the car, and this was my tone. Really pick up on my tone, please. I went, hi, sorry, just so you know, she hit your car. She did not pick up on my tone at all. She stood up. She's like, you hit my car! I'm like, be cool, lady, be cool. The lady in the van, she goes, I certainly did not. I had to go in again. I'm like, yes, she did. I feel like Worm Tongue now, you know, whispering in the ear of the king, she's lying, your majesty. Throw her out. So I was like, yes, she did. She's like, yes, you did. And she's like, I never touched your vehicle. My wife joined the fight. She's like, she hit you like 3 times. You hit me like 3 times. I'm like, well, we did our good deed for the day, so we headed out. So we're sitting in our car, and I'm thinking to myself, did I do the right thing? Because I know I did the right thing, but did I do the right thing? Because there's enough chaos in this world, and I just added to it. There is a tyrannical dictator south of the border who shall remain nameless, who is so intent on gaining power, he is willing to burn down half the known universe just so that he can feel like the most important person in the room. And in the midst of all of that, I just added more trouble. And I'm questioning everything. And then I looked over, and they were laughing. They figured it out. I don't know why they were laughing. They both discovered they were on the same mahjong team or something. I don't know. Betty, Susan. They worked it out. And that's when I knew that I knew that I knew that I knew I had a new ethos. Because snitches stitch friendships together. I love doing stand-up comedy, but this is the easy part. The hard part is I do have to travel quite a bit for my job. And whenever I travel, something seems to happen in the world. Happens every single time. I'll give you an example. This is a few years ago now, but I was traveling, and while I was traveling for work, the Queen of England died. And she had never done that before, you guys. You just want to be with your wife and kids at a time like that. Because, you know, no one expects a woman in her mid-hundreds to ever pass away. So I tried calling home, but you guys remember everyone was trying to call home at the exact same time. So all the phone lines were down. Yeah, the Queen did to the phones what Taylor Swift did to Ticketmaster. That joke's for nobody. Anyway, so I love the fake respect that still hangs over audiences whenever I talk about this. You realize even Charles didn't show this much decorum. You understand that, right? He was practicing that little condolence speech for like 2.5 years. Every single night in front of his mirror, just standing there, fake Burger King crown on his head. It is with greatest sadness and deepest sympathies. You're going to be king. And he is. Follow your dreams. No. I remember I landed back in the city the night after the Queen had died, and I'll never forget because I was driving by a Leon's Furniture. And they had 3 flags, all half-mast. They had the Canadian flag, half-mast. The Manitoba flag, half-mast. And the Leon's Furniture flag, half-mast. And I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I am a stand-up comedian. And I found that profoundly funny. Like, I couldn't stop giggling the whole way home. I'm like, is this faceless corporation in collective mourning over Her Majesty the Queen? Wait, did Leon know Lilybit? What's the story there? It almost felt weirdly disrespectful, you know what I'm talking about? But then it hit me, I was like, no, see, it'd be more disrespectful the other way. If it was like Canadian flag, half-mast. Manitoba flag, half-mast. The Leon's furniture flag. Flying high! Yeah, we don't give a what! Here at Leon's, we're doing fine! In fact, we're having a mattress sale.